What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on this channel. As always, I'm the Rhino,
I am the bat.
and yeah, we're just going. We haven't done this podcast in a while, but we're just going to talk about life. And hold on, what's going on right now,
Oh,
What up, dudes?
bro? What the hell are you doing here?
oh, who is that?
Might as well just go and impose Megatron too, huh?
Hey,
Megatron,
you from the Matrix?
bro. Are
Yeah,
you?
kind of coming to you from the Matrix. Yeah, why not? Yeah, you can actually see a couple of circles if you if you group the ones. Hey guys, I'm the hacker. Don't worry. The Rhino and the Bat aren't compromised.
Okay. But yeah, obviously you guys know Pranav. Pranav is joining us on this episode for today. But yeah, how you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
That's
You
pretty
want to
good.
put up a big announcement though, because we kind of did this on a whim.
That's one way of saying it. But yeah, we did this on a whim. Yeah. So like I mentioned before, we're gonna talk about life and stuff like that. So
Dude, you're forgetting the announcement, right?
Oh yeah, fine. Fine, I'll make the announcement. Fine, I'll make the announcement now. Pranav is coming out of the closet. Sorry.
You idiot.
Sorry, horrible joke. My apologies. But you know how so early in this channel we had Pranav doing about 4 or 5 episodes, I think 4, where he talked about coding and to some extent technology. So the Bad and I decided to add him to our crew permanently.
Yep.
So moving forward, we will have a tech segment.
Yeah, sponsored by the hacker here. No worries. There's no malicious intent. It's just kind of give you a rundown.
So he claims there's no malicious intent.
Yeah, except just go to JFK and kind of short out. I can just go ahead short out the data line on your phone charger, and with 100% accuracy, I can tell what the hell you've been watching on YouTube.
Right. So we're going to be expanding our podcast a little bit. Pranav is going to be hosting the tech segments of that side of the podcast, along with one of us or both of us, maybe potentially. Still working on the details, but yeah, officially, Pranav, welcome to the crew.
Thank you, man. Glad to join. Glad to join you guys. Life has definitely been going, hopefully on the more on the right side up kind of things. At least a little over half my family's been vaccinated, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah. My parents got vaccinated. Most of my family got vaccinated. That's about it.
Yeah, so finally we can at least start hanging out with people that we used to do and take for granted.
Yeah, my parents got vaccinated too, so I'm good.
Can you believe that?
My turn.
Yeah. Can you guys believe it's actually been over a year since we went into quarantine or lockdown or whatever the right word is?
Well, I've been driving around, but I don't know about you.
I mean, you've been doing. Well, yeah, exactly. But the thing is that, you've been doing everything for a year because you got to make ends meet, right? So it's like, even though you say a year of lockdown, everyone makes it. I mean, for me, I've been working from home for a freaking year, and I'm sick and tired of it. I want to go back to the damn office right now.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody.
There is a human side to the professional world. It doesn't matter if you're in IT, you're a medic, right? There is a human aspect to everything that goes on in the world. And yeah, it's high time.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of in the in-between zone between you guys because I spent the first, I think, 10 or so weeks at home, working from home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to the office after that. So I kind of got the both worlds here.
Yeah, having the best of both worlds is okay, but then it's like, as they say, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt to an extent.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be us three. I can guarantee you that much.
Yeah, I mean, social distancing has really been implemented in the most literal sense possible.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how move after let's say 2 or 3 years after the pandemic, how that's going to be, how the pandemic is going to change the future. Like, it showed, the pandemic definitely showed a lot of weaknesses, at least here in the American government sucks when it comes down to like getting people vaccinated and all that
Oh,
stuff.
actually, the not just United States, but I don't think we're number one right now. I think Brazil just took over number one because they're friggin' open. You could go to a soccer game there. There's like signs in Portuguese that says we are not responsible if you get COVID and stuff. Everything's open down there. It's like literally like Florida, except Florida has a curfew right now, I believe. But Brazil,
Curfew, quote unquote curfew.
Keep in mind, it's like, look, the the thing that I see about it, it's not necessarily about, going political, because if anything that I can glean from this entire like 1 year is that you have to do everything in your power to protect your neighbor. The one of the I think it was probably from Judaism or somewhere, because now Easter and Passover are coming around the corner. I think it was to respect thy neighbor or love thy neighbor came from I think either that or Catholicism. But
It's
I think
basically part of the Abrahamic religions. That's what you're saying.
yeah, the Abrahamic religion basically.
Mhm.
And I think that we've also been able to see how people have just been able to come together at some points. As Victor, as the bat mentioned, like we've also seen the worst side of people.
True.
It's like you get both sides of the same coin of humanity, if anything. And it's not, and also, if you guys were following closely after what happened on January 6th of 2021, it put everything into perspective. It doesn't matter if you are in your teens, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your latter stages of your life. What we've seen throughout the past year has been nothing but ups and downs. Like, if you could put it, like, it was exactly like the stock market, but this time it was playing with human lives instead.
Yeah.
like for the last year, we literally experienced 50 years in 1 year. Like,
Yeah, everyone could say easily that they've experienced 1,000 lifetimes.
Yeah.
At least 1,000 lifetimes. From having, let's say, family members that each of us could relate, that may have either had a COVID scare, tested positive, or or just like be in those kind of environments. And for me, we all have stories that we can say about being online just to take a freaking test for about 10 seconds, to get your freaking nasal swab, like something going right up your nose.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I just want to sneeze, but you can't.
Yeah.
I don't really sneeze, but like, they just stick it in there because like when I was in traveling, they kind of like, in order for me to come back to the US, they just had it like before they had to, do it. Is that really that bad for me? I just hate the throat part. They kind of like.
God, yeah. I remember the initial test would be like, it would go freaking either urine, spit. When I came home in July of last year, I went and I got a blood test. I got my freaking blood drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily it was a negative test, but still, it's that's come a long way. So I mean, it really doesn't matter where you're listening to us from or where you're seeing today's episode, but if you are alive and well and you're able to think, speak, say, do, consider yourself blessed at this point in time.
Yeah, because a lot of people have died because of this.
Oh yeah, with the lockdown, like imagine with the lockdown, people like there's some people that are abusive, just like being in that lockdown, just like straight up sucks. I pray for those people too, but
yeah,
just we're each day getting closer to back to normal. So
right, and also, but then keep in mind, the entire past year was basically a monkey wrench in this game called life, and
that's putting it lightly too. So
yeah, people can say that's putting it lightly. That's the way, however, I'm looking at it, right? Each day is one day closer back, going back to normal, but you'll still have those idiots, that would say, oh, nothing exists. And did you guys hear about the story where a nurse in the state of Michigan purposefully put out 50 vials of a COVID vaccine out of the refrigerator?
No, I didn't hear that.
So there was a story on CNN that a nurse in Michigan had basically had purposefully left 50 vials of one of the COVID vaccines. I think it was either a Moderna or a Pfizer or a J&J, because he personally did not believe that COVID existed, nor should anyone even be vaccinated. And he's a nurse. So let's just walk through that.
I'm sorry, I can't walk through that without cussing at the guy and wanting to put hands on him, but that's just me.
That's what I mean. Like, you hear someone who decided to go through the necessary training, the necessary schooling, the necessary, mind, to go and be someone that can save a life. Yet he goes and says, oh, I don't believe that COVID exists, and decides to put 50 vials of a life-saving tool.
I think that nurse should be arrested.
He was arrested, fired, license was removed, and tried, I think, and charged accordingly.
Yeah, that's like, since if he threw the vaccine away, I kind of, and those people are like there, I kind of count that as attempted murder.
That was my question. Like, what was he charged on? Because he didn't technically kill somebody. He didn't go out with a knife and like stab somebody, he didn't shoot somebody. It wasn't. So I'm just trying to like wrap my head around what the exact charges were.
I don't remember the exact charges.
I'll look it up on here.
But that was, I think, for me, a real tipping point, mentally speaking, because I mean, I'm also not the most spiritual person on planet Earth either. But if you went to school for a specific profession, that means you have a civic duty to perform. Doesn't matter if you're in IT, if you're an engineer, or if you are someone who's doing something, you are contributing to the greater good somehow, some way, and it's up to you to also protect your brother, protect your friend, protect your neighbor, protect your parents,
your family members.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the entire events that have happened towards the end of last year was just nuts. I mean, I don't know if, and I'll be honest with you, right? I'm at that point in my life where I need to start finding a woman to start settling down, start having a family on my own. And the entire dating world now is just also been flipped upside down, because once you tell them about COVID, you tell them about the vaccine, people just become so polarized to the point of like, do you even want to date anymore? Well, that's also another thing.
Was the nurse that was stealing, was it a woman?
Man.
Some people are just idiots in life, I guess.
Yep. We have more of those than we really think.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been crazy stuff going on too. Where I used to go to school in Colorado, since we're kind of speaking more about live. I don't know if you heard about the Boulder shooting.
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday.
Like, I believe it happened on Monday. I was literally, I was like shocked, because like Boulder's like Stanford, it's like a college town. It's like all quiet, peaceful. And there's got to be some guy with a rifle and a pistol shooting people.
And claimed 10 lives, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we also saw this everywhere. Right?
Yeah,
it's
been going on for like ever. And the only thing that needs stricter gun control, like, California has the strictest gun control than any other state.
Who?
California, and we still,
right.
and still people with guns here.
Well, let's take it one step. Let's take it one step up higher. Do you know which country has the maximum gun control laws? I mean, which country?
The U.S.
There's a country that
Japan.
In Japan, their regulations are so strict that you have to go through psychotherapy, you have to take an exam, you have to not only get a license, but you have to renew the license at least, I think, 5 to 6 times a year. And you also, and it's not just having a background check. They are super strict, and that country has the least amount of shootings in the world.
Same thing
Yeah.
with Europe too. Europe, they don't really have guns, but it still happens.
Exactly. We're not, see, the statements that came about the whole topic of gun control can easily be so polarizing now more than ever.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that any of us support one viewpoint on having arms versus not having arms, or to either lobby for looser regulations or for stricter regulations. We're just talking to you guys about life, and if we could be a source of a distraction for maybe half an hour to an hour, and you're a listener or a watcher seeing this on YouTube or listening to wherever you get your podcast, and you guys enjoy what we're discussing, if it's on a whim or if it's scripted or if it's planned, then we know that we're doing something right. Right? That's something that's important for us, not just as collaborators, content creators, people that they would call as quote influencers are doing. Everyone has a reason that they're doing what they are doing. And if we're able for us to give you a distraction for an X amount of time, then we know that we're doing something right. We're not here to say anything that's so polarizing that it could compromise any of our lives. We're talking about the human experience as we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is I think they should be strict, even stricter gun control.
Yeah.
Because it always goes in the wrong hands of people. Like
It definitely, I wouldn't say that it was, it's not a matter about, okay, does it go into the right hands? Does it go into the wrong hands? As I said before, like at the start of this, when we're talking about life and how things are just of how we view things right now,
mhm.
it's so polarizing, and it also gets very, very like as we say, everything's all fun and games until shit hits the fan, right?
Yeah.
Shit right now, between the years of 2020 and March of 2021, when we're actually combined forces and recording this very first episode, shit hasn't hit the fan. It's hit the freaking jet engine. Okay, like it's hit to the jet engine to the point where you've heard companies like Boeing officially having plans of relocating outside of Seattle. You know that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Boeing has downsized. Today I got a news article saying that Boeing has actually auctioned off office equipment so that it can save money. Boeing, the company which has been under fire because of the 737, now the 777 program, and companies in that era or in that area of our economy that have been hit super hard. Like you find it hard to believe. I mean, if you're someone who's looking for a job right now, kudos on you. And we hope and pray that you find something really quick, because everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs to eat tomorrow. Everyone needs something to do. If you've not, which actually is a great segue, if you've seen Netflix comedy specials, there's this one comic by the name of Veer Das who who did a special, very simply put, called For India. You don't have to, yeah, but there is let's say one portion of his set where he talks about the most horrific event that he's gone through, and that's 2611. A little bit of context. November 26th of 2012 was probably a day in Indian history where a lot of folks don't want to think about. There was a massive shooting at the Taj, and it was basically like think about Columbine, but imagine that at a well-known hotel in India. I digress. But what Veer Das was saying was, in Mumbai, nothing stops, which is what life is. Life does not stop for anything.
I'm gonna pause you here for a minute, Pranav. Just for those of you who don't know, haven't been to India or never studied Indian history, Mumbai is basically the Indian version of New York City.
One of the New York cities.
One of the New York cities of India. Go ahead.
So the point I'm trying to make here is Veer Das basically, he poignantly puts how life never stops. That people can blow up a train, people can blow up a restaurant, people can blow up a hotel. Life goes on as usual. Life goes on. It's sad, but it's true, and that's the kind of mindset we all need to have. So he even says that if you get lunch, or if a restaurant happens on 2611, guess what? There's going to be 2 snack stalls. There'll be 2 street food stalls, and people will still go eat food wherever that attack happened. Doesn't matter if there was an attack, if there was a tsunami, if there was a monsoon, people will still do what they need to do to make ends meet. And he said, and he's talking about one of the guys in his set. He was filming a pilot for a comedy show. He said, yes, so the light boy or the light crewman says, yes, so we have a specialty. We have a special to shoot. I need to eat lunch tomorrow. So let's get back to work. That's impactful. If you guys have not seen it, watch it. Like, take that as a homework assignment. Like, watch Veer Das and the way that he speaks. His entire set is like, just imagine the stage, but there's really no stage. There's a stoop, and then behind that stoop, there's just one door.
What is it called?
Veer Das. Veer Das is the comedian. It's called For India. It's on Netflix.
Fort India?
No, For India.
For India, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You might not understand half of the references, but when he talks about November 26th, that's going to be the way he describes it. Makes
It says Vasco da Gama here. That's part of Portuguese.
Right. Yeah, that is Portuguese.
Yeah.
I'm putting it in the chat. This way you have it.
Also a bridge in Portugal. We have a bridge in Portugal called Vasco da Gama.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the, but again, Veer Das is just a bang on amazing comedian. Like, Veer Das, if you're watching this, which I hope you do, bravo. The way he does his comedy, amazing.
And Veer Das, if you are watching this, please be on the podcast. We really appreciate it. Some of us would like to talk to you about your podcast or about your shows. Just saying, please.
Yes, please. With folded hands. You know what, Rhino? Let's take that. Let's see if we can actually get to his people.
That'd be hilarious if he actually comes on the show because of this.
Well, not only that, but it would be awesome to get his opinion on the world.
Yeah.
Everyone
I
thinks
think the world is too much. It's like you said earlier, Pranav, life, you still have to go on. Sometimes life is like, it could be, I don't know, I'm trying to pronounce how to say it. Come on.
Just say it. Just fire away. Don't if you're trying to think about it too much, all of a sudden it's like, you start having second thoughts, right? So just say it.
Yeah. So there's days where bad things happen and you move on. You what you said earlier, just for example, like like accidents or big incidents in the world, like with COVID released, and like we still moved on. We're just trying to figure out a way how to stop the thing. Prevent it. It's probably going to be here. It's probably going to be like the flu, but people are going to get vaccinated. And I think with the people that want to get vaccinated, we're probably going to become a lot more immune to it. Us as well. We're going to be studying more about it. As we
Right.
And again, I think I speak for the other two guys here, but we're not trying to be cynical. We're not just going to say, "Oh, insert person who was really close to you died. F you, move on." We're not trying to be one of those guys. We're just saying, we're, we're not trying to say, we're not trying to be cynical here. We're not trying to say anything of what I just said in that example. We're just trying to say, hey, life still goes on regardless of how you feel at the moment, regardless of how the events are going on. We're just discussing from our vantage point to you guys. That's it.
Yeah. It's as I said before, it's one of those things that I think when you look at when you look at what you're doing and you look at in the context of what's going on, I think, at least from my point, one of two things happen. Either you would start becoming a little bit more sympathetic, and there's always a very, very well-known Indian phrase of like "ayo," everyone just says, giving you lip service.
How do you say it? Ayu?
Ayo.
Ayu.
Ayo.
Yeah, it's like that. We say it lightheartedly, or you can actually say, look, there's something right now that is going on. And if you know that it's going on, that means you're being impacted by it. It means you're being unsettled because something is going on. And it's up to you to be the kind of person who would change it.
Yeah. Let's see.
But yeah, I think kind of just moving this conversation along. I think adding you doing the tech segments will be a huge benefit for everybody because I know I am a mechanical engineer. I like technology. I know you do too, Prav. And then the bad, I know he likes technology too. So I think it's a good addition that we're expanding this podcast a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of technology, did you guys know that Microsoft went down again?
Yeah. Oh, speaking about Microsoft, I heard, I don't know, one of my friends, he's like super, he's like always following, just like bad things that's happening. He said like, Bill Gates had problems with India, like, syringes with the vaccine or something, then he left. Is that really true?
No.
No?
No. So when you have executives, I say it as execs like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Satya Nadella, when someone leaves a company, they leave basically on their own terms. It's not like because of COVID, someone leaves. No,
Yeah.
A lot more often than not, a lot of people have this realization where you work on something, it reaches a certain level of success. In your heart of hearts, you want to be there to see it go as far and as high as possible. But but reality will set in and say it's time to move on to something else. And that I think is a recurring theme where we saw Sergey Brin and Larry Page leave as co-CEOs of Google. You saw recently Jeff Bezos step down as CEO of Amazon. Bill Gates did what he had to do. He said that he would still be involved with Microsoft.
I think Jeff Bezos too, with Amazon.
Right. But then he kind of named the head of AWS to take over as CEO of Amazon on the whole. Funny story that I have for you guys is I was a consultant for Microsoft for about 2 years.
2 years.
And part of what I actually had did went in front of the eyes of the Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was something that would be like, if you went on the Microsoft Docs website, there was, I think, a couple of pages where they spoke about how Teams and applications that can go into Teams, they have some external certification. And they call it as a C-star certification.
Right.
And they're basically, I had to build something that looked like a catalog of applications and what are known as like integrations that could be used with Microsoft Teams and that are also have achieved a certain level of validity or certification that, you know, it's internationally known, the integration does not infringe on any privacy issues, which all brings into what the hell is GDPR. Even that by itself is a friggin' area of software engineering on its own.
Right.
Because of the internet, which, by the way, random fact, is a DoD invention that was patented in 1989. So the internet is not that old.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only, it's like 40 years old, about.
Give or take, yeah. And I know the three of us have grown up with it since we're all under the age of 30.
I was still actually speaking about that. I was like watching, not watching, looking at pictures of like, you know, the discs that we used to use, like those long ones that people.
I still have a floppy lying around here and there.
And then there's like the when you turn on the computer, it's like it does like a weird distinct sound like "derp" or something, like I don't know how to do it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then there's like you know, when you down, like, you know, sometimes you get like all those like things like coming out, just like you like have to update or whatever or something.
Oh yeah, you would hear, and I remember like you would hear like the actual like, you would hear as if there was like a rattle inside of the computer.
Yeah.
In fact, that was the information being burned onto a physical hard disk.
Mm.
Yeah.
The Rhino's like, yeah.
But I'm just laughing here. I'm just smiling and laughing because I know a lot of the younger generation, like the post.
Yeah, they don't even know what that is.
They don't even know what the heck we're talking about. We're considered old according to their standards, even though we're all under the age of 30.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you hit right now, if you're like 22, everyone's like, yeah, you're an old geezer already. And then someone comes up to me and says, wait, you're 29? Don't you feel old? I'm like, dude, I'm still freaking young, all right?
Yeah. I mean, age is
just a number.
I was going to say age is just a perspective.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because if you think age is setting you up for something, that means Colonel Sanders, the guy who created KFC, wouldn't have started his company at 65. Or Jack Ma starting Alibaba at 30, or considered old by some of the younger generations. And I feel old just by saying younger generations, just saying.
Oh yeah, and it's like, yeah, exactly. You know, when we say a younger generation, we're like, yeah, damn it, we are old. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you know, for me, well, I still got a baby face, so they're still asking me for my freaking you see already movie, that's for my ID and for like, you know, freaking, you know, bars.
Same.
They have to show them my ID. It's like, hey, are you sure this is real? That's what some of the security guards or bouncers do.
So the funny thing for me at least is that the last time I went to a bar a couple weeks ago, I forgot I had my Blockbuster. This is what I used in one of my older wallets that I had when I was like younger. When I say younger, I mean like pre-Blockbuster going out of business younger.
Wait, you still have, wait, hold on. You still have a Blockbuster card?
Yes. Funny enough, yes. So here's the thing. Let me.
Ever heard of Netflix, bro?
Way to roast the guy, right? It's like, yeah, we'll just put him on a spit and, you know, we can
to be honest, I didn't realize I had it with me in that wallet because it was in a slot that I didn't realize I had. So I went
Yeah,
to the bar.
but that's what other people would say, right? Or maybe that's what she said.
I
Is
was
that
trying
where
to figure-
Naran got it from? Because every time we were training martial arts at one point, I always say something, and he's like, "That's what she said."
Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea how many times I've walked into it and cue Naran to say, yeah, that's what she said.
I honestly had lost count on how many times he told me that. He probably said like at least 1 billion times on me.
Dude,
Something like that.
if we could put $1 for every time Niranjan said, like the Rhino says that's
You'd
what
be
she
rich
said.
as hell, bro.
No,
You'd
not just
probably
rich as hell.
be a
We could
billionaire.
have exactly. We could have split the profits even, and we called it a day.
Yep. So anyway, I forgot where I was going to go with that story, but anyways, here we are today. Thanks a lot, guys, for derailing the story into another great one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you were talking about the Blockbuster card being in a slot of a wallet that you were like very, very small.
Yeah. So I was
To
getting
which
my
she
idea.
also said that.
Yes. Why do I feel like we're gonna get this video is gonna get demonetized at this point in the video?
Yeah, and that too because I have zeros and ones in the background.
Yeah, it's probably some code or some DoD thing. But anyways,
I don't think so. I'm just let me just blur it.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I was getting my ID out to show the bartender because just to confirm I'm over 21. My Blockbuster card falls out.
And then what did the bartender say?
So I'm holding my wallet with my left hand. I'm holding my ID in with my right hand. We're both looking at it. Like, what the hell is that kind of thing? It's like, I don't, and literally, without skipping a step, the bartender said, I don't need to see your ID anymore. You literally got the beer and gave me a beer. I was like, bro, what?
So Blockbuster really bailed you out, hey?
Literally, because I know Victor and I are kind of like the last bit of the generation that grew up with Blockbuster. And same thing with you, Pranav. But we're like one of the last groups of people who actually grew up with Blockbuster.
I remember driving on Jug. Well, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm actually based in New York. So I was driving on Joker Turnpike one day. And this is again when I was like before I even turned 10 years old. And I would see Blockbuster shops around like Starbucks shops. Like they were everywhere.
Yeah.
And even to a point where there used to be a what was it called? Like they had even the store like called National Wholesale Liquidators at some point, NWL.
Yeah.
And that was insane. Like Virgin Megastore was also a huge hit. They Famous Footwear, like listen, this is like hump day Wednesday, okay? And tomorrow's throwback. Like you want to talk about throwbacks?
And funny enough, we're actually gonna post this on Throwback Thursday. So here we are.
Perfect. Just happened to be serendipitous, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is what happens when you hit a mental when you freaking hit a mental block in the middle of a podcast that's recording. We have probably a lot more outtakes than anyone can imagine right now.
We should have started recording like an hour ago at like 3.
Yeah, we could have kept it like, we were roasting each other with the car. You were literally about to roast me with the Lamborghini part. So like,
yeah, we should have started recording at 3 instead of at like whenever we recorded.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
kind of try to bring a huge ass announcement, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said before, Pranav will be joining primarily on the tech side of the podcast with at least one of us being the Rhino or the Bat, and then he will also be interchanging with at least one of us. So if the Bat's in San Francisco getting drunk as usual, Pranav could step up and fill his gap and we can talk about something. Or if I'm out of the country, you two can talk about stuff.
Yeah. Speaking about you being out of the country, you knucklehead. Like, I wish Charles Barkley was on. It's like, oh, come on, you knucklehead. It's like, this guy over. Yeah, or this guy over. No, I can't even freaking point. Forget about it. Um,
And by the way, we can't see your screen either. So
okay, all right. Shut the hell up. What I was about to say was, there we go. So this guy over here keeps
Which
going
guy?
on the Rhino,
okay.
okay? Keeps going on like these exotic trips. And one year I'm back home and he's like, he calls me on WhatsApp on a video call. And it's like, Merry
Was it
Christmas
WhatsApp?
from
Was it WhatsApp? I thought
No,
it
no,
was
I'm
Instagram.
pretty sure this was 2019 when you were like in Morocco by that time.
no, he was this this motherfucker over here was in the island of Mauritius and he video called me
2017.
on WhatsApp 2017 and he's like, Merry Christmas from the island of Mauritius. I'm like, oh Neuron, like so what happened that previous night? You got lucky or something? And that dude went full like tomato red and he's like, why the hell do
Getting
you have to
tomato
be like
red
this?
right now.
Ah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. And by the way,
Hey, but you don't. Hey, Naran, I'm so butthurt. You don't send me like a video from you being on it. Well, I didn't send you when I was like traveling too, but you could have sent me like, "Hey, what's up, motherfucker?"
Yeah,
I was about to
that's
say, don't
tomato.
say it, bro. Don't say it.
Looks like
But,
the
yeah.
Rhino just got roasted on a freaking open spit, you know?
Yeah.
But
And
I'm
that
just
too, he
excited
actually
to
got
have
compromised
you,
by me.
Hector, on the show. It's you just gave us like freaking like a comedy show today.
Well, listen, the world has written the setup. It's just a matter of finding out the punchlines.
Yeah.
Nope. I guess today I'm the punchline, huh? I see how it is.
I'll be the punchline the next time we record.
All right.
Which is when are we recording next time? Saturday or Sunday?
We'll figure that out eventually.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out as we go along. Kind of, we'll just wing it. And hopefully everything stays together like a freaking 777 engine.
It, but well, I
That dude
forgot-
wasn't even worthy.
Yeah, same difference. Doesn't matter for me. I'm working on glass here. I have my desk, and I usually record in that office right behind me, but my desk is no longer there, so I have to record on the glass table, and I don't want to hit the table too hard.
Yeah, you don't want to go Hulk smashing, knucklehead.
That's exactly what I just fucking said, bro. That's exactly what I just said, except you said it differently. What the fuck?
Meh.
Yeah, what a show we were doing tonight. Today.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's already 7 o'clock over here on the East Coast. I mean, look, like right now, I still got code that's up and running that I still need to figure out and do. But yeah, it was a good hour distraction.
Hopefully this episode helped distract some other people and wherever podcasts are sold are here on YouTube. But yeah, I guess we'll end it here, guys.
Yeah,
Yes?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end it here. As always, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing to the YouTube channel, Rhino on the Bat Podcast. Check us out on YouTube, on Instagram with the same name, or you can check out the Bat's Instagram page on links in the description box down below if you're on YouTube. But it's at Cool Victor 77, was it?
Yeah.
Or you can check out my podcast or my podcast, my Instagram at Firehawk Archer 1, which is also the name of one of my other YouTube channels. Yes, I have 2 other YouTube channels. I'll link everything in the description box down below. For now, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at pcrush19 on Instagram. You guys can follow us there. Link will be in the perfect description box.
Follow
down
you,
below.
Rob.
Sweet, dude.
I just followed.
So you guys can follow us there. If you guys have something you want to talk about, drop it down in the comment section. Please make sure to still keep it PG. One of us, or in fact, 3 of us, as a disclaimer, even though we do have 9 to 5s, we try to look at what you guys want to talk about. We'll bring it up as a topic of discussion for the next episode.
Yeah.
Keep it PG-13 in the comments, and be mindful that YouTube will flag automatically anything that is basically derogatory, anything that is inappropriate. Make sure. All I'm trying to say is use your freaking noggin, use your freaking head when you're commenting.
Right. Or you can send us an email at rhinoandthebar@gmail.com. I might have messed something up there. But
Rhino in the bar. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you went to law school and got drunk.
maybe. That might be an issue here. But so like I said, we should have started recording this an hour ago. But anyways, have a good one. See you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.